Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about running stride length versus cadence and the relationship between the two. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everybody who posted comments after I posted that I ran the Toronto Marathon last weekend. So some really nice words of encouragement there from everybody, so thank you to everyone who posted about that. And that's the reason I didn't do a Facebook Live last week, so sorry about that guys. I had intended to do it after the marathon, but I was just knackered and I just couldn't muster it. So, anyway, well, you might want to know I finished in 4 hours and 16 seconds, and I was going for 4 hours, so that was a little frustrating, but I still enjoyed it. It was a really good run and I had a really good time, so I was pleased overall. Okay, anyway, enough about me. Let's dig into a little bit about running stride length versus cadence. So, I work with runners on their cadence quite a lot. So the reason we do that is because the research kind of shows that an increase in cadence, a higher cadence for a given running speed, tends to result in lower impact forces and less injury risk. And it also results in an improvement in running economy and therefore performance. So running with a higher cadence is a good thing. And when I say cadence, I mean the number of steps you take each minute, okay? And when we're working on trying to increase runners' cadence with them, as they start to increase their cadence, what they'll say to me is, I feel like I'm taking shorter steps. Does this not mean that I'm taking shorter steps? And the answer is yes. If you are running at a given speed and you increase the number of steps you take each minute, but you don't speed up, then your strides will be shorter and your stride length will go down, right? And that's quite normal. And then the other question I get a lot is, well, if I speed up, will my cadence not go up? And if I slow down, will my cadence not go down? And the number of steps I take each minute? And the answer is yes, but only a little bit. And that's what we're going to kind of dig into today, the relationship between the three things and how you might use that if you're trying to work on improving your running form. So the most interesting research I found on this was a paper by a guy called Cavanaugh and colleagues way back in 1989, and obviously there's lots of research that's been done since then on this kind of stuff, but I really like this one for the way it was nice and simple and it just kind of laid things out, and it helped me illustrate the relationship between the three quite well. And what they did is they looked at some 10k recreational runners, but they were quite good recreational runners, so they would run their 10ks in about 31 to 39 minutes, which is a lot quicker than I can do a 10k certainly. So these were pretty good runners, and they got them to run on a treadmill, and then they measured all sorts of stuff, and including their stride length and their steps per minute or cadence. And then what they did is sort of analysed what changes were made at different paces. So the slowest they got them to run was at about 5 minutes 30 per kilometre, right? So a fairly easy pace for these guys who were pretty good runners. The fastest they got them to run was about 4 minutes and 5 seconds, or we could say 4 minutes per kilometre, right? So the difference between the slowest easy pace and the highest pace, which was more like a tempo pace, was about 33%. So there was a sort of 33% increase in speed or pace from the slowest they measured to the fastest. And then they looked at stride length, and what they found is that the stride length did increase from the slowest speed to the fastest speed pretty much in tandem. And what they found was that the slowest speed to the highest, it would increase by about 28%, right? So you can see 33 versus 28. There's a very kind of close relationship between those two. So they would almost kind of like for like. As you speed up, you would take bigger strides. As you slow down, you'll take smaller strides, okay? Like for like kind of proportional relationship. But where it gets interesting is that from the slowest easy pace to the highest pace, which is more like a tempo pace, the cadence only increased by about 4%. Okay, so it was like 166 to 172 or something like that. It was like a very small change in cadence across all speeds, but the stride length changed dramatically as the pace increased. And that tells us about the relationship between the three, in that the pace and the stride length are very closely related. So as you run faster or slower, your stride length will get bigger or smaller depending what you're doing. The cadence won't change that much. It'll only increase a little bit as you speed up, and it'll only slow down a little bit as you slow down. And what that means for those of us trying to work on improving our running form, if increasing our cadence is something we want to do, which I would suggest is the case for anybody who's running less than 170 strides per minute when they're running. So I've talked about this before, the unhappy zone of cadence being this kind of 150 to 170 strides per minute, and the happy zone being 170 to 190, or we could just say basically anything above 170. And that goes for all speeds, right? So whether we're running at easy pace or fast pace, our cadence should always be above 170. The thing that will change as we change the pace, the thing that will change the most is the stride length. This cadence won't change too much. So if you're working on your cadence and you're looking at your Garmin or whatever that's tracking it, you should see that it always stays above 170, even at your slowest speed, and then it increases a little bit as you get to your faster speed, but not loads, okay? But it always stays in that happy zone above 170, so 170 to 190. And that's it pretty much. So quite a simple one today, but definitely something that causes a little bit of confusion. So if anyone has any questions, just drop me a comment and I'll try and get back to you. But otherwise, hope everyone's having a nice weekend, and I will catch you next week. Okay.